There are new details tonight linking the firm Fusion GPS to the Russian lobbyist who met with Donald Trump Jr. Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley wrote to the Justice Department back in March, and he stated this, quote, "It is particularly disturbing that Mr. Akhmetsyan and Fusion GPS were working together on this pro-Russia lobbying effort in 2016 in light of Mr. Akhmetsyan's history and reputation. Mr. Akhmetsyan is a Russian immigrant to the United States who's admitted having been a Soviet counterintelligence officer," end quote. And as we reported here last night, the Russian attorney, Veselnitskaya, was also linked to Fusion GPS related to a money laundering case involving a Russian holding company. Are you confused yet? If not, I'll guarantee it will occur soon here tonight. Fusion GPS's Christopher Steele created the false dossier on then-candidate Donald Trump, an effort reportedly funded by the Democratic supporters of Hillary Clinton. I kid you not. Joining me now, Chris Farrell, the Director of Investigations and Research at Judicial Watch. Chris, I got to say, with all apologies to my colleagues in broadcasting and media across the country, you're damn fools for chasing this nonsense like a bunch of bang hounds. I mean, this is ridiculous.
If anything needs to be investigated, it's the DNC link to Fusion GPS and the phony dossier, because clearly that doesn't benefit Trump, right? That was an attempt to knock Trump out. So whose money was behind that? If you want to go back and peel back the layers on this Russia hysteria, you look at the DNC, look at Hillary's campaign. That's where it seems to point, in my opinion.
Well, in my opinion as well. And I've been saying here that the number one question in the so-called Russia collusion investigation, which is a manifest joke, by the way, from top to bottom, in my opinion.
Agreed.
But if there is a question to be answered, it is, how in the hell did the DNC get away with telling the CIA, the FBI, to get away from their servers just because they had some sort of national security interest in it all? And why in the world did the FBI and the CIA say, oh, very well, Democratic National Committee people, we'll just step back and get out of your way and let the Russians have their way with you? I mean, this is absurd.
Well, and the fact that the FBI would stand by and supposedly take that is just nuts. But let's not forget that Veselnitskaya and Akhmetsyan, Boris and Natasha, the two of them were running around the United States under the Obama administration.
Under the imprimatur of the Attorney General, who handed out, as best we can tell, perhaps the one and only immigration parole in history to a Russian citizen.
Correct. And, you know, Jay Johnson's hands are dirty in this, and I want to know why
Jay Johnson, the former head of
Homeland Security Secretary, who handles all the immigration issues, I want to know right now why Homeland Security Investigations is not out conducting investigations of all those persons in the Obama administration who approved that. Who authorized this female attorney to enter the United States? Let's get names.
It gets, as these things seem to, better and better once the Republican-led Senate and Republican-led House start behaving as if the Democrats control them. But how in the world is it that the statute that permits a immigration parole refers to the Secretary as having that power, not the Attorney General? And how did the Attorney General then ascribe that authority to herself and reportedly approve the parole, the immigration parole that permitted the Russian attorney into the country? And the questions then compound themselves. How did she remain in the country till June of last year when that immigration parole ended back in January? There's no explanation for this.
What happened was you had multiple Obama gang officers or officials signing off on allowing this woman to operate in the United States. It's mind-boggling why they would ever do so. And as I said, the FBI or Homeland Security Investigations should be getting statements right now from those persons who authorized her to stay in the country. They made super exceptional, above and beyond efforts to allow her to stay here. Why? Who authorized it?
Why? Who authorized it? Next question is, why in the world is the Attorney General not shutting down the special counsel? Why in the world is this Attorney General, this Justice Department not going after right now the answers to all of the questions that we've just raised here and the hundreds of others that likely will flow from them, as well as investigating now the Clinton Foundation, now investigating the conduct of a Secretary of State by the name of Hillary Clinton, and the conduct of the Democratic National Committee and the leaders of the FBI and the CIA who withdrew from a national security breach in the form of intervention by the Russians in the Democratic National Committee servers. Why?
You know what, Lou, this whole thing, if I told you it was an email from Sidney Blumenthal to Huma Abedin, you wouldn't believe it. But that's what it reads like. It is so twisted and contorted. And frankly, there's so much Democratic operative involvement in this. All of the efforts, all the investigative efforts are pointed in the wrong direction. And all of the public relations, sort of government information side of this should be talking about how the Trump administration is aggressively pursuing this and trying to get to the bottom of it, not passively sitting by and waiting for Mueller to dream something up.
Robert Mueller and dreaming something up without portfolio, because he's in charge of finding out whether there was collusion, which is, as you pointed out on this broadcast numerous times, not even a law to be broken, let alone evidence of a law being broken.
Correct.
But secondly, to go to the issue of watching Richard Burr be led around by his nose by the Democratic ranking committee member, Senator Mark Warner, and to watch this parade of irrelevancies coming before the Senate Intelligence Committee, the same thing happening, but to a lesser degree, to the House Committee, and now Senator Chuck Grassley, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee in the Senate. I mean, it's as if the Republican-led Senate has been turned on its head, and the Republican Party doesn't have enough brains to, well, if dynamite were brains, they couldn't blow their nose.
Precisely.
When did you think you would hear a sixth-grade reference like that again?
Well, only because it's so absurd. It's a case where, the bad guys come in and do something, and then the cops in the form of this incredible Senate leadership starts questioning all the victims as though they were the bad guys.